killed by sorcerers, a most vile... You have interrupted my newest masterpiece!
The bard clears his throat and gargles on his own saliva. He then returns to his poem, but his voice cracks mid-verse.
Well, never you mind. Every sonnet I compose is a masterpiece, and my muse has been begging me to write something new. Wait! You might be just the stimulus I needed! I shall craft a rhyme for you and your race. All I ask in return is a handful of coins. It's an offer of a lifetime. Magnificent! But if I am to write a first-rate work, you must face some difficult questions. Are you prepared to answer?
He stares at you for a few torturing moments.
Your eyes betray the guilt of the human race. You believe it your right to ravage Grivalon. What say you?
He smiles a crooked smile and runs a hand through his greasy hair.
Ah, arrogance! That most peculiar of human traits, given your lack of cultural accomplishment. Save the towers you erect in worship of greed. What riches do you seek, human? Indeed, you seem almost fearless in your conviction. But I know better. Stripped of their swords and shields, humans are as fragile as flower petals. Admit your cowardice.
The bard hems and haws, then bellows his next words to anyone who might hear.
To all lovers of verse, I bring glorious news. I have completed another modern classic. Listen now, and bask in its resounding refrain. The war drums keep the rhythm of patrol.
Arguing with Mac is like giving medicine to the dead. He's as stubborn as a corpse and smells the part to boot. No wonder Papa Thrash gives him the stink any time he tries to go downstairs.
Peace may multiply.
Another sorcerer on the loose. I knew they should have cut off the Meister's head and burned the rest. Gotta make sure it don't grow back.
So journey
Divine voice, that idyllic poetry. I could lose myself in Barstan's cinnamon eyes.
Throw him in a hole for all I care. Is the greater good?
I don't think you'd know even a smaller good if it bit you on the arse.
The war drums keep the rhythm of patrol.
An elf sways on her chair, her eyes focused on the counter in front of her, where she has 6 glasses in a row. With the nails of 2 fingers, she's pressing red welts into her forearm. She slides one of the drinks towards you, her head bobbling heavily on her neck as she nods at the sparkling ale.
And that.
The drink has barely any effect on you, bar a coldness in your ribcage and a wetness in your seat.
Nothing like a glass of the good stuff to smudge everything into a pretty shape.
She slides another glass of ale toward you, its contents sparkle in the dim barlight.
Bottoms up. Can you just not? Cheers to you, me, and...
Her gaze swivels around the room.
Damien's dull knife. This place is horrible. Never mind. Cheers to you, me, and me again. Another. Psh, give me one good reason.
She dumps a heavy arm around your shoulder and pulls you in close, her breath hot and sour in your face.
Look at this. This is my story.
She shows you the 2 swollen, angry red welts on the underside of her arm. She slaps them without finesse, making herself wince, and stares at you intensely.
I know how to make it better. I can fix it, all of it. I'll tell you.
She jerks her arm away from you and gazes lovingly at the welts. She doesn't look up as she speaks.
There's this woman. I'm not crazy. And if she kisses you, she can change you. She's downstairs. And now I'm different. It's in her lips. It's in the magic. I changed the right way. And then, I think now I'll be fine. You understand how, sometimes you just want to be fine. That's just it, isn't it? That's just it. You ought to go see her. Dorothea. She can help you. She did me.
She looks at you earnestly, her eyes gleaming, the twinkle of the amber ale behind them.
I seem good, don't I? Yeah, I do.
The proper trail.
He fixes you with a stare, looks you up and down, weighs you up, the cut of your cloth, the weight of your bag. A moment passes. Then a smile creases his face, a smile carefully constructed to look friendly and authentic, a smile that doesn't reach his eyes.
Greetings, stranger. Looking to ease the pain of a decaying world? You're in the right place. Beers are ordered at the bar, but can I interest you in a nourishing bowl of stew?
He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you.
I'm sorry, I mistook you for a different kind of person. My mistake. I shall return to serving the other customers, and I wish you a good, if boring, appetite. I'm sorry, it's not about the money. Really, you insult me now. This is about fellowship, about a shared worldview amongst devotees of strange and exhilarating experiences. Money is irrelevant.
A smile spreads across his face. He holds out his hand.
Now we're speaking the same language. So, let me ask you this. Across the world, who is renowned above all others for their exquisite love-making abilities? Exactly. And of your kin, there is one whom I believe to be talented above all of your kind. For an appropriately sizable sum, I can make the necessary introductions. Well, this is what's available. Take it or leave it. And I suggest you take it. It's better to regret something you did than something you didn't do, am I right?
He holds out his hand. The money vanishes into his apron.
Now, let me ask you this. What flavour of stew do you prefer? Do you like the strong and meaty variety? Or do you prefer it delicate and fragrant, if you get my meaning? Upstairs, on the second floor. Her name is Zara. Pleasure is her business. Enjoy the experience of a lifetime.
He gives you a mischievous grin, then dips his head in salute and turns away.
Is paging anyone up that looks at
The war drums keep the rhythm of patrol. Humankind establishes control.
Ah, finally. Your colleague over there is absolutely useless. I'll have a bowl of the house stew, if you please. Oh, pity. I've been trying to get a little something to eat all day. But the giggleheads who run this establishment don't seem to be willing to provide a fellow with his fair portion. After all I've been through, too.
He lowers his gaze, then looks up at you expectantly. His lip trembles dramatically.
It's my mentor. My dear mentor. He was killed by those void beasts. I told him we ought not to travel in the hills, but would he listen? No. Now here I sit, my closest companion gone, our precious cargo worth more than Lucian's right ring, lost to them, and the waiter won't even bring me any stew. Ah, then perhaps my luck has changed. Yes, perhaps this awful business might soon be behind me. Tell me, how are you with, well, Void Woken? Ah, terrific news. Then what I ask will be little more than a trifling. My mentor, Liam, and I were hauling in a goodly number of fine wares from the Southlands when we crossed paths with a great brute of the Void Woken. He made short work of Liam, may the gods rest his soul. I managed to escape, but my precious cargo was left behind. We'd invested our entire livelihood in those wares. I'll do anything to get them back. Of course. We'll, discuss the specifics once you've returned. Now, give me your map. I'll show you just where to look. I doubt those beasts out there have any use of such a cargo. I can't tell you how thoroughly you've made my day. Good luck.
So journey forth and tread the proper trail. And shout to all, the humans must prevail.
She nods an uninterested greeting.
Here for the fight? This is a tavern. People are drinking. Eventually there'll be a fight. You planning on starting one? Pity. Well, later then.
A prim woman in a starched apron wipes a glass with a clean rag. She pings you with blue, steel-sharp eyes as you approach the bar.
Blessings upon our Lucian, 7 times divine.
She looks at you. She looks at your hand. She looks back at you. Either the human is an imbecile, or that's not the correct response. Her eyes soften and crinkle as she smiles.
I see your mother raised you very well indeed. You and my Niles would get along. Nice to see an unfamiliar face. What brings you to Driftwood, darling? You've still some way to go yet then. What can I get you in the meantime? You ought to enjoy a little rest while you can. Don't you worry. The Magister will keep you safe while you're here. My boy Niles over in the Joy makes sure of that. We've only got amber ale, I'm afraid. Can't spare the potatoes for hard alcohol. If you'd like something that'll stick to your ribs, I'd flag down Loverick and get yourself a bowl of the house stew. Coming right up, darling.
Silver, gold, and diamonds down the spoons. With friends and lovers, find your true repose. So journey forth and tread the proper trail. And shout to all, the humans must prevail!
I'm telling you, if they got nothing to hide, they got nothing to be scared of.
Yeah? Your book of the Magister's caging anyone up that looks at them funny.
Damn Damn right. I got a right to live, don't I? Throw him in a hole for tramps. The rhythm of the throne. Humankind establishes control. Sound the horn and shout the battle cry. 'Tis through their might that peace may multiply. Of silver, gold, and diamonds, now there's nothing to hide. You got nothing to be scared. Friends and lovers, find your true repose. So journey forth and tread the proper down right. I got a right to live, don't I? Throw him in the hole for all I mean. It's the great good.
This town is poor, but this room is rich.
The bell rings a warning in the
A weathered woman in a dirty sea captain's tunic babbles breathlessly to herself, and somewhere nearby you hear a bell ringing.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn, and I without my compass.
You got that right.
The ship is in the locker, on the bottom in the rocky shallows, and all are drowned but me. And yet, can you hear? The bell rings on. The bell haunts me yet, and it would drive me mad.
Right as rain, Hilda.
I'm haunted by my crew. They ring the bell to drive me mad. Please, make it stop.
She buries her head in her hands and cries.
Make it stop.
A ghostly seaman stares at the captain, his lip curled in a malevolent grin.
Rocks ahead, Captain. Do you hear me?
Who rings the bell?
Take the wheel, Captain. Take the wheel. Hard a port. Can't you hear the bells are ringing?
The ghostly seaman rings his bell, his hate directed at his captain. He turns to you.
Who rings the bell?
Spoke to the lady, Captain, didn't you? I seen you cozying up. Are you hers, you bag of bones? Or sail you with us? I'm doing my duty here, I am. I'm the lookout and I'm ringing the bell.
The bell rings.
Rocks ahead, Captain. There's no lighthouse here. Rocks ahead! Ha 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 ha!
You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard. You've got a pick and you can trap. Then you're an idiot.
You got that right, Hilda.
His lip curls over his blackened teeth, and with a smile, you know you've lost the argument. He turns back towards the sea captain, ringing the bell with renewed urgency.
Rocks ahead, Captain! Avast! Hard a port! Ha! Rocks ahead! Do you hear me, Captain? I'm ringing the bell! Turn the ship for it's too late!
The bell rings on.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent
The
to
ghostly
Fort
seaman
Joy.
rings his bell, his hate direct...
Captain Abelweather ran the ship upon the rocks. Although I rang the bell, that weren't no lighthouse. I rang the bell in warning, and she ran the ship upon the rocks.
He turns back towards the sea captain, ringing the bell with renewed urgency.
Rocks ahead, Captain! Avast!
The bell rings on. A ghostly seaman stares at the captain, his lip curled in a
Sail you with her, lizard, or sail you with us?
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it
I'm
sent to
doing my
Fort
duty
Joy.
here, I am. I'm the lookout, and I'm ringing the bell. Rocks ahead, Captain!
Fort Joy
There's
for
no...
one night with a lizard.
And I'm on duty here. There are rocks ahead, and the captain must know it.
He blinks once, twice. A single salty tear drips from one ghostly eye. The bell falls silent. He raises a finger to his temple in salute and fades away.
Silent.
A weathered woman in a dirty sea captain's tunic babbles breathlessly to herself.
My ears are still a-ringing. And I have you to thank for it? Then thank you, I surely do. That accursed bell lies with the peacemaker, on the bottom in the rocky shallows. My compass lies there too.
She goes white as the proverbial ghost.
You've got no call to go looking for no cargo. Far as anyone's concerned, we sailed with an empty hold, and if there's anything left to salvage, you leave it where it is. Heed me. Leave the cargo of the peacemaker alone.
She turns away. Conversation over.
Curiosity, cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? Then you're an idiot.
It's a shame, it is.
An absolute shame.
Alexander, slaughtered like a supper lamb. Poor dear.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. Never thought I'd say this. I hope they round up them sorcerers for good. I ain't needing one sick and avoid working on me.
You said it, Hilga. You're a true patriot.
Then you're an idiot.
Hilga jabbers excitedly with Brax, but the two go quiet as you approach.
What do you want, reptile? Huh. I want another beer and a bowl of stew. Which of us is more likely to get what they want, do you think? Guess that makes me a sinner. Perhaps you can help us settle an argument. Thatcher here is one of my dearest friends, but she isn't the brightest.
Thatcher grins hello.
Our mate Boris got posted to Fort Joy for consorting with lizards. And Thatcher here still fancies a turn around the park with Loverick's lizard. I say she'd be sleeping with the enemy. What say you?
They look at you expectantly.
And you can't be too careful, you know? If I can get Alexander and get any of the...
Thatcher bursts out laughing. Eden goes bright red.
Get lost before I throw you in a cell for disrespecting a magister. Two magisters. The magisters.
Thatcher doesn't look disrespected. Thatcher looks amused.
Disrespecting one magister's enough. Go on. Get lost.
She turns back to her drink.
Of course it's not true.
She tips you a wink, then turns away.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
You got that right, Hilga. You got that right.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The chest won't open. It doesn't open.
Speak the word, and I shall open. Good choice.
Weathered and rugged, the man sleeps soundly. He mumbles in his slumber.
There's bad things in the caves. Bad dwarf things.
His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's still asleep.
Blood and oil do mix, after all.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
The island is ruined and doesn't have a name. Don't go there.
His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's still asleep.
There's no graveyard on the island. Stay away from the graveyard.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
Sawdust and wolves, Mother. Sawdust and wolves.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
Arcs for Lucian's Day sounds nice, Mother.
His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's still asleep.
Leave me alone, Mother.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
Leave my stuff alone.
He goes back to sleep.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
Weathered and rugged, the man sleeps soundly. He mumbles in his slumber.
But Mother, I'm sleeping.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
As the head said, don't open the chest.
He goes back to sleep. The chest won't open.
I'm not in love with you.
Speak the word, and I shall open. Speak the word, the magic word, and I shall open. No. No. No.
Of course it's not true.
Still no.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
I am already closed. I did not understand. Do you want a buffalo? No. I am a chest. Is your buffalo unwell?
Of course it's not true.
Yes, you could. You speak the word. For your safety, please stand back.
The lock unlocks with the tiniest click.
Of course it's not true.
Pull yourself together, man. Or should I check the cupboards for ogres?
That's quite all right, my lord.
You got that right, Ilka. You got that right.
And you can't be too careful. If they can get anything.
All right about that. Right as rain, Ilka.
Iffan bounds forward and embraces the man, all effusive greetings. As they part, talking animatedly, the man's beard slips sideways down his face. He's wearing a disguise. Iffan laughs.
Iffan! Forgive my style. I look a right pickled pepper pot, don't I? So what next? Grapevine says you know the whereabouts of more Godwoken. Guess you'll be taking them on over Roost's Way, eh?
He points vaguely northwards, silken robes flapping.
Camped out at an abandoned sawmill not too far from here.
The man hunkers down and seems to be sketching a rough map on the floor, using an apple, some playing cards, and a fistful of threads pulled up from the carpet.
Suppose you'd best get moving, huh? And I'd best get back to living the no-thrills barred life of this chump.
I'd best move on. See you around, Baron.
For some reason, the two of them burst into guffaws. Iffan claps the man on the back and turns to leave.
Here now, when one's in a small town, one must expect small-town manners, I see. Have you a reason for barging into my room, sir? No harm done, I suppose? Though why I pay good money for these so-called bodyguards is another question entirely. Still, I may as well introduce myself. Baron Levere, at your service. Travels, you say? And why would you assume I'm a traveling man?
He laughs heartily.
Of all things, I wouldn't have thought my boots would give me away, but you're quite right, of course. I am traveling, yes, to Arx. Lucian's Day will be upon us soon, a celebration no man with a heart that is both as pious and mercantile as mine should miss. I go because it is every citizen's duty, our communal obligation to chant the rites of the return and pray for Lucian's divine resurrection. That said, I do have more secular motivations as well. Arx positively overflows with pilgrims during the festival, pilgrims and their purses. As a merchant, it is quite my favorite day of the year. I'm a wealthy man, and wealthy men need protection, especially if they accompany their wealth. The merchant's burden, you see, he must escort his merchandise, always. Music to my ears. A happy accident after all, you're barging into my room. If there's anything else you need, know you're always welcome.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you. You've got to pick
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
I can see a sulphur from a mile away. Of course it's not true. And you can't be too careful, you know. If I can get Alexander, I can get it. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
What is right, Hilka?
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
What the devil are you staring at?
Your beard, my lord.
It seems less lush somehow.
It's as lush as it's always been. Now train your eyes on my treasures, not my person.
Yes, my lord.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you. You've got a pick who you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying I can see a sorcerer from a master. Of course it's not true. And you can't be too careful, you know. If I can get Alexander.
Why do you shiver, sir? This room is temperate enough, is it not?
Quite so, my lord. Quite so. But the atmosphere in here is, spooky.
Spooky? Pull yourself together, man. Or should I check the cupboards for ogres?
That's quite all right, my lord.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you. You've got a pick and trust.
Here now. When one's in a small town, one must expect small town manners, I see. Have you a reason for barging into my room, sir? No harm done. Still, I'm...
Of course it's not
Ah! Looking for another? Please do. If there's anything else you need, know you're always welcome.
I'm not in love with you. Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
Ah! Looking for another trick? Please do. If there's anything else you need, know you're always welcome.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you. You've got a pick and you can trust.
You got that right, Hilka. You got that right.
And I'm saying you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile. And you can't be too careful, you know? If I can get Alexander, I won't get any of us.
You're right about that. Right as rain.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you. Of course it's not true.
A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you. She fixes you with a sultry look, and when she speaks, it's like listening to honeyed smoke.
I'm sorry. We can't do business unless you pay the man downstairs.
She gives you an apologetic look, then turns away. A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you. She fixes you with a
I'm sorry. We can't do business unless...
She gives you an apologetic look, then turns away. A lizard, tall and beautiful,
I'm sorry. We can't do business unless you pay the man.
She gives you an apologetic look. A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you.
I'm so glad you've come. Are you here to... water my flowers? I've been so lonely since my man went away to fight the coming war. I need someone to take care of me. You're so masculine, darling. Won't you take care of me?
She gives you a cool look, then a flirtatious smile.
Not in the mood for games? Me neither. So what shall we do? Would you like me to dance for you? Or would you... Provide interruptions. Let's wait for them to leave, and then we can try again.
A lizard, tall and beautiful.
I'm so glad you came, but your friends will have to leave.
She turns her back on you and waits for your companions to leave. A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns...
I'm so glad you came.
But she turns her... A lizard, tall and beautiful...
I'm so glad you've come. Are you here to... water my flowers? I've been so lonely since my man went away to fight the coming war. I need someone to take care of me. You're so masculine, darling. Won't you take care of me? Come on over here, big boy, and I'll tell you.
She bats her eyelashes.
What I'm thinking.
She takes a step backwards, throws a sultry look at you.
I like a fellow who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to take it. You're right. Let's not play games, but let's take it slow. Shall I dance for you? All right, darling. I'll dance.
She closes her eyes. She's motionless for a moment, as if listening for music that only she can hear. And then, almost imperceptibly at first, her hips begin to sway. As she finds the rhythm of the song that only she can hear, but as she sways and moves with elegance and grace, at once beguiling and raw with pure emotion, you realize you hear the music too. It floods your body with light, at once boiling hot and freezing cold. You feel her hands press on your garb, and you move together, entwined in spirit as one. Moving to the rhythm of your desire, two beings for a moment become one. Her face is suddenly against yours, and she sees you for what you are, bone without skin, alive but not living. She pauses and smiles.
Darling, you're undead. Be still, my beating heart. No offense. Honey, I should be paying you.
Her world explodes in ecstasy.
Good morning, lovebirds. Holy hells, an undead! Again, Zara? Really?
You know me, Gil. Leave him alone, Gil. This one's mine.
Listen, Bonebag. We're killing you, and we're taking all your stuff. That's the deal. Ready?
true.